What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nilo Kicking Knowledge. Continue with our Venus through Sign series. Today, we'll be covering Venus in its own sign of Taurus. So, what happens with Venus, the planet of love, creativity, relationships, comes into the sign of Taurus, which is originally connected to the second house of the zodiac, which governs over our wealth, speaking ability, family life. Well, first thing you need to know about these guys is that they are family oriented. Yes. Whereas you have Venus and Gemini who, you know, will continue to want to play the field and, keep on experience everything that relationships has to offer. Venus and Taurus at heart wants consistency and stability. Ideally for them, they want that romantic kind of love, go out to nice restaurants, buy me flowers, etc. And that raise a family, let's do this routine for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. That's Venus and Taurus in a nutshell. So, what this tells us about Venus and Taurus is that they are some of the most loyal lovers in the zodiac. Yep. And if you know anything about Taurus energy, it's just so laid back and chill. Almost like the person is just high off life. But really they're just going at their own pace. Can't can't force a Taurus to go at anybody else's pace except their own. So that's in love too. So if dating these guys, trust me, you might want to take it slow. Take it slow. They enjoy courtship. Like I said, fancy restaurants, nice gifts, so on and so forth. So they're not actually they're really not overly materialistic, not at all. Just like Venus and Libra, they seek balance, but a more consistent balance. Whereas Venus and Libra wants to make sure they're existing in the relationship, but still maintaining a sense of individuality. Taurus just wants to know that the relationship is consistent and dependable. You dig? Now, like I said, Taurus relates originally to the second house, and the second house relates to our vocal cords. Uh, from what I've seen, Venus and Taurus, especially with a good place, Mercury, makes the person just a very charming and easygoing communicator. Yeah, because Venus here is at home, and say, the person may not be like a Mercury in Virgo where they have like excellent command of vocabulary and know a whole bunch of big words, but Venus in Taurus knows how to put their words together to win people over. So, in other words, they're persuasive and they're just overall charming. You know, a lot of them can have some type of singing ability or something like that. Or let's just say Mars is sitting here with Venus as well. It'll make him a very authoritative type of speaker, someone with a commanding type voice. Now, here's an interesting thing that I've noticed about Venus and Taurus. So, as you know, we operate on the plane of duality. You could either be at one extreme or the next extreme. Now, Taurus is actually, it's funny because Taurus is right in the middle of being a materialistic kind of energy because it's earthy, and being a spiritual kind of energy because you need because in essence Taurus energy represents being grounded, right? So you can use the energy to be able to concentrate well, like as far as meditation, and or the energy can pull you towards believing that you need to be materially secure on many levels. So you may have, so the spiritual Taurus, right? Say someone with a spiritual, who's a spiritual Taurus, just depending on the house that Taurus is ruling. It could be the 9th house, it could be the 12th house, it could be the 4th house, it could be the 5th house. Say it's in there with, you know, an aspect from Jupiter, or sitting with Jupiter or Mercury, something that really, or Moon, that really programs a person to be more spiritually inclined. What we will see is that they tend to attract non-spiritual partners, because opposites attract here. So the more spiritually inclined the Venus in Taurus is, the more likely they are to attract a partner who's the opposite of that. And that just goes into, you know, a theory about acting out your own darkness. If you don't do it, others do it for you, right? So then on the flip side of that, you have a Taurus who's really, you know, caught up in the material life, and making themselves secure through that, will tend to attract partners who teach them about, you know, the spiritual side of life, or even just the darker aspects of life, right? Because on the opposite end of Taurus is Scorpio. So it's Venus in Taurus is really at work to open up or remove the veil from the person's eyes, you know. So some more advice, you know, for if you have a Venus in Taurus, or dating someone with a Venus in Taurus, there's a need to create here. There's a very pleasant artistic vibe, and this artistic vibe can stretch anywhere from painting to cooking, okay, to interior design. So whether a guy or girl, there's somewhere in the core being, there's this need and this want to be a creator of some sort. But like use your creative eye. And we can learn something here about Venus by looking at Venus in Taurus and Venus in Libra. Okay? Venus has to create. And normally, the more in love Venus in Taurus is with life, or the more grounded they are, the more they'll want to create. But there's no doubt a natural need to create. So that's something that should be cultivated. So, like I said, if dating someone with a Venus in Taurus, take them out to a museum. Take them out for a walk. These guys really enjoy nature and the quiet stuff. Like I said, balance here. They want balance. So expose them to that sensual side of romance, but also that deep spiritual connect. Make sure you connect on that level as well. Another thing I wanted to say was that Venus in Taurus has to eventually come out of their comfort zone, because the thing is that over the years you develop, like, all right, say you've been in 2 relationships that have taken a total of 10 years, 5 years each, right? You get accustomed to certain things in those relationships, and you develop a routine and make that your safe haven. Ultimately, you want, when seeking a partner, you want a partner who is going to take you out of that, and honestly open you up to other parts of your being. All right? Because earth signs especially can get wrapped up in what they know, and continue and forget to continue cultivating other aspects of self and things of that nature. All right? So, guys, this is my interpretation of the Venus and Taurus. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, do so now. Until then, peace.